They'll get rid of the Shadow Demon now as well.
Yeah, it's a really strong hero for saving. I think that's the thing you get with the Tusk and Shadow Demon. Just a lot of save potential on top of the aggression that you can get out. So I can't blame RNG for banning that out. Of course, there's the potency for really a lot of stacks coming out for the Shadow Demon. With the way the economy's been changed up, there is a lot more emphasis in that. And like, if you can really abuse it, then here like Shadow Demon will really kick into gear faster than you'd expect.
Westrak now being removed from SAG as well, just removing any kind of peel counter from the side of RNG. This final ban out now. Going back into that reserve time for this one. It's just... Get rid of the Venomancer. And it's straight into the DK, so just ensuring that Setsu can win out that mid lane, or at least even out, and SAG, they'll go for the Abaddon pickup straight away.
Yeah, you've got that solid Dispel now to keep control away from RNG. I mean, right now they basically have a lot of AO, single target control. That's something the Abaddon can really abuse with his shield, so I like that pick for SAG. It's rare you see the Abaddon be a great pick, but in this case, with what RNG has, you're going to get a lot of value from the counter control the Abaddon does bring.
The AA now coming out as well from RNG. That's one of the counters towards the Abaddon. Thing is, SAG don't generally care about whether this Abaddon survives or not. It really is just about the Aphotic Shield being able to purge off stuns, and SAG, we've seen this before. The mid-Doom is coming out for DD, it seems.
Yeah, it's really potent. The matchup against DK is actually not too bad for the Doom. You have easy access to your side camps anyway, so there's still a lot the Doom can give you, and the DK, I'm sure it's still a DK. It's still fairly tanky. It's still a bit tricky for the Doom to shove him out, but, you know, SAG Doom, I mean, that should still have a really decent time in that matchup, and again, you can dip into the jungle between waves, you've got a consistent way of finding farm, you've got a lot of control that can come out once you have Blink Doom available, or any other way of initiation, and it just sets the pace once more for SAG to play a lot faster than RNG might be ready for.
I'm shocked they actually ban out the Viper there from RNG side of things. I suppose they could have definitely ran the offlane Doom and gone the Viper mid instead, but they won't. I am very, very sure there should be a mid Doom coming out. The Ember AM also being removed from SAG side of things now. Just getting rid of any kind of position ones they don't want to have to play against. Now the Storm being removed here from RNG. So they are dead set that this is a mid hero coming out from SAG. I suppose it still can be. So
Yeah.
nothing wrong with another mid pick here. Okay, maybe it's a mid Venge.
That's a possibility. I don't think the matchup against the DK is particularly great for Defense. The Doom should have a bit of a better time there. I think in the end, it's probably just the core Abaddon and off. Does look that way, but a support Venge with Phoenix, that seems a bit more traditional. This is still a fairly strong lineup from SAG. Again, you're looking at a lot of good control with the Venge, with the Abaddon. You're going to be bailing your teammates out of trouble every single time. Swap out of the arena in case you do get a big core caught in. And it does tie into that pacing SAG likes to play. The presence of the Venge, the wave that she can put out with the minus armor, does enable the PL to maybe fight a bit earlier if God King so opted to join his team a bit faster.
Well, the Queen of Pain now coming out to finish the draft off, so RNG gonna run the safe lane Monet Dragon Knight and run the mid Setsu Queen of Pain. SAG will find out very soon what they're planning to run. No, it is going to be the mid Doom. So DD takes it for himself. OP got on the Pos 3 Venge. Red Panda will take the position 5 Abaddon and Pos 4 Phoenix. Fairly interesting way to finish off this draft.
It really is. It gives them a lot of flexibility. The mid matchup between Quap and Doom is a bit trickier for the Doom. I don't think that's something that you can really trade too well, but you can still find some steady farm. In the end, OP God and the offlane Venge, that's one to watch out for, whether or not he can hit those timings and really start applying the pressure towards Monet. It is a fairly tanky safe laner there, so you're not going to be. It's not going to be as easy in, say, game one, but you are still waiting for, like, what, level 4 on the DK or level 3 for him to get really tanky. Before that, you should be able to apply some decent damage out here with SAG's lineup. So a lot of back and forth. RNG has given themselves a faster draft here in game 2 that should allow them to try to keep up pace with SAG, and we'll find out if that will pay off here.
Well, game number 2 about to start.
Oops.
We'll get into it. Game number 2. So the side of RNG need to win this one out if they wish to continue this series to a game number 3. And SAG obviously wanting to just get a 2-0 victory if they can afford to. And well, they're definitely on the right track. See if RNG can really slow down God King this time around. I mean, I wouldn't even say that last game was necessarily on him to win. It did seem like he didn't even get to show off his farm at the end. It was just, the game was already over by that point. This time around, we'll see if he actually gets to play a game long enough where you'll see a significant amount of farm on this PL.
Yeah, it's really just down to how aggressive DD and OP can play. And in this time around, I think you should expect a bit more tempered approach from SAG. The Doom is tied to Doom, and that is a bit of a longer cooldown for SAG to time themselves around, so that should keep a slightly slower pace compared to game 1 if you are just focused on maximizing that Doom mid.
That's the thing, I don't know if they will though. That's every time I've seen DD playing Doom, he doesn't really play a slow game. He makes it work, even if that cooldown is there on that ultimate.
The battle begins.
RNG, we'll see. It's going to be a 2-for-2 boundary rune trade on the side of SAG and RNG. And they're going to run the offlane Mirana and the offlane Mars, which is fairly standard stuff for RNG's side to go up against that PL and the Abaddon. Though again, you really won't have too much kill potential as long as Red Panda is there with the Aphotic Shield. He'll just be able to purge off the stun every single time.
Yeah, it's again really tricky in trying to maintain that lane if you are looking for kill attempts. There's just a lot to keep God King alive, and Red Panda, I mean, he's just going to be happy to trade hits like this early on.
Every time. Of course, the mid lane, Setsu and DD going to be up against each other. Setsu probably assumed he was going to be up against the DK mid, which is definitely the matchup you would have preferred here if you are the Doom, but he won't mind going up against the Quap too much either, I'm sure.
He's still finding those last hits right now. It's not like it's a runaway lane for Setsu. It does take a few levels for the damage to really start to pile up on the Quap, and if ever it does get that bad, well, DD does have a side camp to just dip into. Although it is blocked.
Top lane as well, Monet going to be there with Super. OP God will be there on the Venge and Felix on the Phoenix. The offlane Venge is something I haven't seen for a bit now, but the core Venge can be very, very potent if you're not too careful. The damage output can be somewhat insane.
Yeah,
OP.
it's
Yes.
It's a fairly decent response to the DK as well, right? Like, you've got minus armor and spades, you can just go for the aura build, pump out the right click, and that just enables your Phoenix to trade a lot better as well, even if he doesn't have spirits or a dive up. Just trading right clicks pretty okay against a DK.
Red Panda gonna get speared to a tree, but the stun isn't really gonna be that long. In fact, Flyone's the one who falls low, and he does die. Red Panda gets him with the miscoil. That'll be the first blood going over to the Abaddon.
Again, another great start for SAG, just applying that pressure from the get-go. And Red Panda, as long as he keeps finding these kills, he's gonna find that EXP progression, which makes it a lot harder to deal with the Abaddon. The one big thing with support Abaddon nowadays is it tends to be a bit slower in the EXP gain, but if you apply this presence, then that's not gonna be an issue here for Red Panda.
Well, mid lane seems to be going a lot better for Setsu than it was last game, at least for now. Still just matching up with CS in comparison to DD on that Doom. DD still not able to go devour a creep because it has been blocked off, and it will return back into that mid lane. They are really focusing on making sure that DD does not have anything that he would really like in this mid lane. You do really rely on that devour ability to be able to get something passive going for yourself.
Yeah, it's rather surprising they haven't sent out the sentry to help DD out, but I think in the end, as long as he's maintaining farm with that Quap, you're still pretty okay with that result in the lane. Like, he's still progressing perfectly fine, not seeing either mid pull away, and that's probably the best situation for the Doom in this lane.
Red Panda gonna run into September now on that Mirana. Just gonna trade a bit of harass there with that Mirana. September probably looking to set up a kill attempt onto DD. He could land a nice arrow, but he won't have the opportunity quite yet. Of course, this Mirana leaving does really allow God King to just farm however he likes in this bot lane again. So you really don't have any pressure being applied here from Flying apart from that God's Rebuke, but it doesn't do much damage right now. And seeing that the Mirana's gone, Red Panda's going to return back into the lane and just start harassing the Mars out.
Yeah, it's a tough lane to really contest God King. Like, you can see him top of the last hits board again at 28-9. Monet's not as far behind this time in the DK, so you're finding somewhat equal farm up top, but this is still not too good news for RNG. Flywind's progression has slowed down a lot on that Mars, and he's going to have to find a way to stabilize his network gain and EXP gain here.
September. Nice little bounty rune still there on that Mirana. That's only going to leave one left for SAG, and Flywind going to be able to get the last one as well. So 4 bounty runes there for RNG. A lot of gold coming in their way. And that'll give him a slight net worth lead at 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that helps out a massive amount considering just how much SAG's been sapping away slowly at their lanes. You're not seeing insane kills just yet. You're not seeing the massive rotations coming out, but it's still been pretty stable for SAG in terms of trading well. So bounty rune pickups really important for them. You do see a clump up top, 5 heroes in that lane, although September is walking off.
September. Just keep roaming around the map, just sniping creeps with arrow, and with that Void Stone up, looks like he's just gonna go for the standard Yules build on that Mirana. I guess he could just keep doing this over and over again as he just roams across. Might try for a DD here. They do start off with a Shadow Strike, and there is a TP coming in. Arrow will connect as well. A Phonic Shield is not going to be there yet. It does come out now, but the Sonic Wave was committed, and they do have enough damage to burst down this Doom.
Yeah, it's a solid pickup for RNG. That does require some support rotations to get done, so they do drag September and Super along, which does once more free up those side lanes, but it's a kill they needed. You know, you're giving Setsu the boost he needs in the Quap, and this does allow a movement up top.
OP God gonna get stunned up. September there with the follow-up damage, but OP, he's still perfectly fine. In fact, he wants to turn around on that Mirana, and September might actually just be dead. Felix does get him with that final auto attack coming out of the Phoenix. I'd hate to sound like a broken record, but this is still allowing the PL to just free farm. Currently sitting at 3.4k net worth.
Yeah, it's still a runaway start for God King specifically. You see Flywind just hitting level 5 at last, but God King should be able to hit level 7 before that 6 is up in Flywind. So still really good progression for the PL. Gonna see that timing into the defusal, perhaps into the exact same build from game 1, and with how God King's been performing, you can't really blame him for just going same old, same old.
Top lane. Might be a big team fight breaking out. Monet. No, they won't try. Of course, the DK would probably still be very tanky here, so they won't bother trying to make a jump onto him. But they'd love to go after Super. So I guess SAG are more than comfortable just biding their time.
Again, it's a much more tempered pace from both sides. You're not seeing that insane aggression coming out from SAG, but you're still getting that farm distribution out here at a decent pace. You do have 6 up and running on Monet, so this is a bit of a signal for RNG to perhaps seek to find a pick-off and pressure a tower with that Dragon form, but they're just not quite grouped up enough to maybe find that opportunity.
Helm of the Dom's up on DD as well. It's a pretty interesting build to go for again. On the Doom.
Oh. God King?
Yeah, he's in trouble. Arena surrounding Sonic Wave. They do blow him up.
It's a really important pickup for RNG. They do finally manage to punish that PL that has gotten free farm, so that's one of the solutions RNG is working towards. They're just slowing God King down, and if they can get that done, you're not going to worry about that PL getting bigger than your core. You see Monet maintaining a decent pace there. They did give away their Ancient Apparition, but you're not seeing the pressure applied towards this DK. So Monet's slowly building up, and looks like he wants to play aggressive with an early Shadow Blade coming out for him.
They are going to go off that dominated creep in mid lane, but Setsu won't bother trying to blink in and finish it off. In fact, Ensnare coming out now from DD. Setsu does eventually get it down. In fact, no, it was just DD taking over another creep and killing the other one off. And so, almost 10 minutes into this game, SAG maybe go for a fight over these bounty runes now. It looks like they'll leave the bottom ones alone for RNG to take, and Monet will force himself to the top one as well. So it'll be another 3 for 1 at least. Felix will leave the other for now, but looks like DD will probably eventually make his way up and grab it. RNG, they maintain the 1k lead.
Yeah, it's not a massive lead for RNG, but it's certainly a better pace than game 1. You see them applying pressure down bot as well. Red Panda, he's all alone for this one.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Borrowed time gonna be there. He'll survive. They'll bring Super down as well. Arena gonna be dropped. Red Panda, cold feed out. He does purge that off, and they actually can't chase him down. Well, now, a great swap out from OP God with the stun out on the Mars. They do Icarus dive in, but Monet shows up now on the DK. They drop the Ek. It is gonna get bursted down immediately by RNG, and they'll turn around onto that Venge, getting the Ice Blast, securing that kill as well. Red Panda gonna be chased down now on the Abaddon, and well, the cold feet's there, and Monet is not giving up. Gets another stun off, and with the spear, it wasn't even needed. Monet secures the kill out with the Breathe Fire.
Okay, and they do have the Dragon form up and running for Monet at the tail end of that, so they can start to apply pressure on that bot tier 1. You see the top tier 1 being taken out by SAG as well. So it is a bit of a trade for a trade, but RNG, they find the kill advantage, and they do bring their lead up to 2k. So a lot more early momentum here, a lot more aggression from RNG that's paying off. And it looks like they're just about ready to start dictating these engagements up against SAG.
Has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
On mid lane, Felix. Gonna go in onto, or rather Setsu's gonna go in onto Felix, but Sonic Wave gonna be there. Setsu, he just blinks in. not giving any kind of space away. He just wants the kills over and over again. That will give him a 3-6 lead, and drums are up on OP God. He does pop him. They're going to go after Red Panda. He'll spot out Setsu. Can they cancel the TP? They can. DD was around the corner, and with that, Setsu may have gone a bit too deep.
Definitely just a bit too long there. I mean, didn't quite expect the follow-up from SAG, but that does force the Doom usage out, so DD's not going to have too much presence in the following fights. And I guess if you're RNG, that's a bit of a boon in the end, as you can still try to apply that pressure across the map without worrying about that spell. So there's still a bit of an opening for RNG if they want to. They still haven't quite punched God King as much. I mean, he died once, which is great, but he's just about to pick up his Diffusal Blade. And then after that, you know, that does give God King a lot more presence. If he is caught out, he can start to fight back a bit there.
Bot lane gonna get caught out there by DD. Monet, he's gonna be there to just get some farm up, I guess, on the DK. DD not gonna stick around. He'll go towards the mid lane. Arrow, Red Panda, getting caught there by September, but borrowed time will save him. Seems as though SAG are perhaps looking to try and get a bit of chip damage on that tier 1 tower, but Setsu's just not going to allow it on that Queen of Pain. They're there to defend that. SAG, I believe they have a Diffusal Blade coming out. Yeah, they do. God King's already got the Diffusal out. So you do have that capability now for the PL to start fighting with his team if he really wants to. Probably will just try and go after the Hood of Defiance first, though, before he does bother getting involved. But he might need to. There's a smoke coming in. OP God TPing out. This is perfect timing here for RNG. They just need to drop that arena and go after God King. Cold Feet, he does doppel off, but Flyone was waiting, and now Speed does come out. But they have no follow-up to it. The egg, it was too much. It kills off the Mirana. September goes down, and now Flyone, he'll also go down. Monet trying to make a run for it on the DK, but they are just set on chasing him. And with that Diffusal, it's not going to be too hard to just purge him up. Monet being swapped up now by OP God, and this DK's also dead.
Oh, yeah, it's starting to get a bit messy for RNG. Like, they had the lead a while ago. They tried to apply that pressure, but God King's ready to fight. They staggered their initiation too much. The arena comes off at the wrong time. They were split up in the initial parts of that fight. September was controlled, so he couldn't find the follow-up arrow. And all of that was enough for SAG to manipulate into a win. So they're starting to break up again. They do have a slight 1k advantage. And we're reaching that point where God King is just going to be really difficult to deal with. He just lacks the Ring of Health for his Hood of Defiance. And once that's up, this PL is going to be a lot tankier in the middle of these fights.
Have it up pretty soon. RNG. And they've got to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out something. I mean, Flyone, he's just trying to get towards that Vladimir's into the blink, and it does seem like he needs the blink up to really have that solid initiation on the PL. Orchid will now also come out on Setsu, so at least you have a way of locking him down for a bit with that silence.
Yeah, it's an option, but as long as the Abaddon's around, it's still not very solid lockdown. They're just getting way too much value from having Red Panda constantly apply that Dispel, and it just undoes a lot of the control RNG has.
Smoke up. RNG. Look towards Red Panda. They get the Yules off, and September will have a nice easy arrow setup. Borrow time is there. Red Panda gets speared to a tree. His team is around the corner, but it looks like they're just more than happy to let him go. Just let him be. RNG, are they able to capitalize at all? It doesn't really look like it. I doubt they get any chip damage here, but Flyone does get a decent arena off. Ice Blast going to fly in. DD's going to be in big trouble. Great swap out, but it doesn't matter. The Ice Blast still connected. And the Sonic Wave out from Setsu was more than enough, but now God King, he wants to try and fight this. They do have egg available, but I don't believe they can actually afford to fight, or maybe they can. God King, he's still in trouble, however. He will topple. Now, the silence out on that Phoenix, so he can't get the egg off. Setsu barely able to blink away in time before his mana does run out. And with that Moonlight Shadow, September, just trying to get himself out. And everyone from RNG is out of there safely.
Yeah, it's a good pickup for them. They do bring the lead back to 2K there, and you know, you've given Monet some space to farm up while all that breaks out. And SAG bleed a few too many kills there. So great win for RNG. Do have to watch out SAG. If they're scattered out like that, it's so much easier to manage. They just go in one by one, burst DD down, burst OP down, and if the Venge is in the arena, there's nothing to save there. So OP has to be a bit more aware with his positioning, but RNG, if they can keep that kind of aggression up and just jump SAG when they least expect it, then they can really start to steer this game towards their way.
Aghanim Scepter will be up on Monet very, very soon. It seems like if he keeps this farm up on that DK, could be a real concern here for SAG. They're just trying to continuously force in that tier 1 mid tower, but it really hasn't worked out quite yet. Red Panda has a DD up on the Abaddon, so maybe this time could be quite successful. Meteor Hammer flying in from the Phoenix. It's of course going to land, and well, this tier 1 does seem to be dead. Nice deny out though from Setsu on that Quap.
And taking the gold away, but the map control that SAG does take back from that is the more important thing. This allows them to maybe start to apply some control on the Dire jungle. We haven't seen SAG actually dip in there all too often, in stark contrast to game 1. So RNG's just managed to take control on their side of the map, still slowly build up. You look at Monet, it is the Ags rush for the DK. And once you have that up and running, well, there's a lot more the DK offers in fights, in pushes. Just having him around, it's going to be a lot harder to deal with Monet once this is built up.
Mid lane, September getting doomed up here. DD does not... Well, they can't actually chase him. He just ran away. And they didn't really have the initiation this time around from Red Panda. He's not playing the clockwork. And so, that's just kind of a Doom being expended for nothing. And RNG, seeing that Doom being wasted, may just go for a pick-off here down at that bot lane. They did spot out Felix and the Phoenix, but he's going to be alright. He'll walk out of range. RNG, they're just going to take over the jungle.
Yeah, it's a lot of good farm for them to find. You do see DD is grouping around Roche. They might just go for it with God King.
That they are. It's going to be a very easy Roshan with that of Curse of Avernus. Ice Blast going to fly through. Moonlight Shadow was popped as well, but that Ice Blast is going to be there. They are going to make it in time. This could be really, really bad for SAG as that arena does drop and does connect onto 3 heroes, but Flywood is falling way too quick. Setsu does get a great Sonic Wave off, but they don't seem to be winning this team fight. Monet is trying to fight back up against Red Panda. He may secure the Abaddon kill, but now God King on top of him drains all his mana, and he will go down as well. In fact, Monet, rather, Super is also dead on the AA. They do get OP God as a trade, but now September will also be chased down by God King. Get the lance off, and September's gone. It's Setsu still trying to fight this as the Queen of Pain, but she can't do it alone.
And it was a valiant fight from RNG, but SAG went out in the end. They grabbed the Roshan, they've got the Aegis, and despite finding that trade, finding the buyback from RNG, it's not enough. It's not enough to trade this way. And even with that Ags up on Monet, I mean, they're just not finding the greatest opening. That was a very big arena from Flyman. They just couldn't deal with the tankiness of SAG.
Well, Setsu's going to try and go down to the bot lane onto DD. Ice Blast is definitely going to help his cause, but BKB is committed, and now Doom. Oh, the Lincoln's out from Setsu. Very, very nice play from the Quap. Wasting the Doom as well. And I believe that was a 10-second charge. No, it was a 9-second charge in that Doom that was expended. OP, sticking around. Monet going to show himself with that Shadow Blade underneath the tier 2 tower. They're going to have plenty of damage to take him out. God King going to try and fight back now, going after Setsu, but no. He'll blink away, so instead we'll go after Monet on the DK. And Monet is not going to be able to fight back. In fact, Red Panda is still on the chase there for Setsu on the Quap. Setsu still is able to blink out. Super has been left behind on the AA, and that should be another easy kill here for them to clean up. Commits the Ice Blast. Arrow will fly through, but it won't matter. So they get a 2-for-1 trade again, SAG.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and it's getting really difficult to handle God King. He's going for the Yasha next. Whether or not he'll go for the SNY, or if he does opt for the Manta for the self-dispel, is another thing, but he is just way too big in the PL now.
They jump in, Flywind trying to do something here, but he's out of mana. Setsu just forced to blink out. He can't afford to try and fight this PL right now. And items are flying out real quick for God King. Aghanim Scepter, Yasha already bought up on the Courier. Going straight into that Manta style next. Jukes out the Ice Blast.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This guy just farms way too quick. It's actually unbelievable how much farm he can find on the map.
Yeah, and he's been winning all these fights with the Aegis still intact. They've got a good 2.5 minutes left in that. So there's still a lot more they can do with that, although they do lose out in DD, who was left out mid, but they're going to find this tier 2 in exchange.
Now that was the decision they had to make, was that the tier 2 was a DD on the Doom, and they decided DD was the only option. So God King now smoking up with the rest of the team, going to start rushing towards the side of RNG.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, they get a courier there from Red Panda. It's going to feel a bit nice.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's the mech being denied off, so just a little bit more sustained delayed out from SAG. 2 minutes without that mech.
Is under attack.
They are going to run into Super perhaps, and they do. Super just commits everything he has. That'll force out the egg usage from the Phoenix. That AA is going to die.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
RNG just trying to buy more space here. Monet has fallen decently behind the PL and farm. And even with that Ags up, it just doesn't seem to be enough right now to really get anything done.
Yeah,
Dire's top tower is under
it's lagging behind, and he needs to hit level 18 just to get the level 4 dragon form. I believe right now he just gets the blue dragon with the Ags, so he's not quite at that point with the black dragon just yet. And that is costing him. He's fallen behind that EXP progression severely.
DD
Nope, September.
got a Doom off on September, and they give him the tip as well.
Oh no. It's difficult. RNG, I mean, that is a big spell expended by DD. So RNG should be aware that could be a bit of an open play around.
I'm telling you, he doesn't care though. He really doesn't care if that Doom is down. He'll commit it every time he sees a hero. SAG, they're just going to start rushing with a smoke into that dire triangle, and well, RNG, here's their opening without that Doom. They're not really going to be able to capitalize at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but they're just going to lose their objectives. Mid tier 2 going to be taken. They don't have the numbers without Mirana, and they just don't feel confident. They're just slowly bleeding away their last objective on the map.
There's the Aegis expiring now onto God King. He doesn't have it anymore. I believe his Manta is on the way, and it is. So Manta now up, going after that Satanic next. The RNG, you can already see Setsu trying to set up against that PL, going for the Maelstrom into the Mjolnir, but it's going to take a bit of time.
top tower.
He did decide to go for the Hyperstone first to try and have that pick-off potential. The God King just going to rush him. He will blink the other way. They know he's there though. He does TP and will make it out. OP God not in range to get a swap off.
Would have been a great pick off to find. Just don't have control on the PL with this kind of build. He is opting for the Lincolns instead on God King's end, so he just doesn't want to worry about all of that silence coming out onto him. He just wants to be able to give himself a lot more of an edge, and can't really blame him. Just defensive items all around for the PL. He's only died once, so it has been paying off for God King.
OP God gonna go down towards that bot lane. Setsu. They might ignore Setsu for now. God King will force the blink out, but when they found him, they have. Setsu, he does get caught out. Sonic Wave, though, a great swap out from OP God, but it's not going to be enough. He tried to save him from the Sonic Wave. Ultimately, it did allow him to blink out of there. SAG, I don't think they're really upset about this, though. Like, they're still just... I mean, the net worth graph doesn't really say much. It's a very, very even game, but they're getting what they want. They're getting their PL farmed. They don't really mind the other heroes being low in net worth.
It's still their game to really dictate around. Again, they've got all the objectives off the map. They've forced RNG to one side of the map as well. They've limited the pace RNG can farm up. You still see some items flying out, like Monet finally has level 18. That is the Black Dragon form coming out now with the Ags, and does have a BKB. So the DK has a bit more presence here in these fights.
Well, they're going to run straight into the Moonlight Shadowed RNG side. Who are they going to jump on first? They'd love God King, but no, they want Red Panda. And they will stun him up. Borrowed time going to be there. They use up through that, and now Arena being dropped straight onto OP. Gone with the Ice Blast flying through. It's a lot of damage. OP should die. God King, he cannot afford to fight this, but he has been stunned up. Sunray flying through as well. Egg, not quite yet, but there it is. With the Doom being thrown out on the DK. They'll burst down the Egg. And now, well, DD, he really doesn't want to be here on this Doom. Nice Ghost Scepter out from Super will save him from the PL, but no, he eventually goes down, so God King apparently just going to fight on his own. DD Impact is still around there. Monet falling low, Setsu comes back in. God King, how do you control this man? They do finally get him. Setsu does eventually kill him off, but he managed to get 3 in response to the 4 that were already dead on the side of SAG before he went down.
Yeah, it takes a lot more effort from RNG to clean up that fight, and that was a favorable fight from RNG. Like, they were the ones who started it, they're the ones who got the proper initiation, and they still don't win cleanly, so there are still issues to fix up there, but they do build up a 4K lead on their end now, so they've got a bit more net worth flowing in. Still, if you look at God King, he changed up his itemization. He's rushing that Abyssal now, and OP God...
Setsu, it's a lot of damage. Ice Blast even flying through, but that just wasn't even anywhere near necessary. Setsu's just hitting like a truck with that Mjolnir up. And so they're in control now, RNG. They've got a 6k net worth lead. They're looking great. It's their game to lose. Just a matter of whether they can actually start taking objectives. We're 30 minutes in now. They are still yet to take a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, it's leaving them a bit high and dry in terms of just how far they can actually distribute that farm and the rest of their heroes. A lot of this is really just on Setsu still. They smoke up. They're going to hit another spike once Setsu hits 25. So if they keep that aggression up and hit that point, the Queen of Pain's control does get a bit ridiculous.
Mid lane, they might just start onto Red Panda, and they do. Borrowed time is going to be activated. Arrow not connecting either. Flywind jumping in. Here comes God King. They get the spear off on the tree line. Now the Ice Blast with the Arena. It's a lot of damage out. And SAG, they grouped up for it. They burst down the egg as well. And everyone from SAG needs to leave the building. As RNG, they are looking very scary right now. Monet Going for another Dragon Tail and the Spear and the Arrow all onto God King. They swap him out, however. He's surviving through all the damage they have. Now with the Sun Ray coming out and the Icarus dive, they're going to try and turn this. God King onto Flywind. He's holding the shield up, but it doesn't look to help too much longer. But perhaps, maybe it allows God King to die. No, Doppel is there. Still making a run for it. Still alive, but eventually does die to Setsu. And now DD should also go down. And he does. Ice Blast to fly through and OP God dies.
Ooh, that's a lot of things going wrong for SAG. They're high ground now under siege with Monet's Dragon form up. Of course, it's a lot quicker even without it. Setsu right-clicks way too much. They're going to lose their first set of racks, going the way of RNG. They were the team to lose out on all their outer towers first. But with the small slip-ups SAG's been giving them, it's enough for RNG to turn it around.
So what do they do now, John? SAG, I mean, they're one racks behind. What's the game plan?
They've got to calm down a bit. They need additional control, especially on to Setsu. The biggest issue is that Setsu's allowed to just blink around, be highly disruptive. The Lincoln Sphere and BKB just allows Setsu to really get too much done. So work onto that Abyssal, try to get the jump on him. Still, I mean, that's an Aegis and Cheese going the way of RNG. Even if you do get it done, you're going to have to contend with 2 lives here.
Bloodthorn even coming out now, and Setsu's going to be attacking that much faster with that that Hyperstone change that we saw with the recent patch. OP God had a struggle this game on the Pons 3 Revenge. He hasn't really had that as much impact as you would hope out of the position 3. There's that Bloodthorn.
I think the big thing for SAG is they're not able to maximize their swap range because it's stuck at level 2.
Gets the Doom off. He caught Setsu on that Queen of Pain. That's the one they want. With that Doom, she has nowhere to go. They'll go after the egg, which was committed, and it's bursted down quick. Still, Aegis now going down on that quad, but they're going to chase down DD and try and punish him for this. He's trying to juke them out the best he can. He's walking rather quickly. Arrow, not going to land from September, but they have him surrounded. He goes invis again. Sentry ward placed. He will run out of range, but they do get the Yules off, and now the spear back into the tree will make sure that DD does go down.
It takes a lot of effort to find that Aegis, but in the end, SAG, now they don't have to contend with the 2 lives on Setsu. Simplifies the issues. They just need to apply that control. If they can do it once more in their defense, then they do take away the biggest ace in the hole RNG has. It has been riding a lot on that Queen of Pain. So just get the control onto Setsu. You don't have to worry about 2 lives here. And if you do that, you can turn the tide of that fight. Just can't afford to bleed out heroes one by one here.
Bot lane, they're going to try and make the push now, RNG. Can find that tier 3 tower very, very fast. They'll get the glyph out. Onto the tier 3 again with Monet in that Black Dragon form. And it's really just an easier axe to take. I mean, they've still got a tier 2 tower up top, but they could potentially look at trying to force a fight. They will not. Still, Clumsy Net going to be there on the Mirana September. Monet gets a Dragon Tail off a Red Panda. He pops the borrowed time. Ice Blast not going to land. They still haven't stunned up and they kill him off. He's dying a lot faster than they would expect the OP now with the swap onto that quad with the Doom as well. Arena's going to be great though. Egg going to get blown up immediately. They do take down Setsu, however. Continuing this fight, God King, he's way too low. He does die, and that's GG. SAG, they've had enough, and RNG. They force it to a game number 3.
Yeah, they find the answers in their draft. They manage to match the pace of SAG, force them to play a bit slower than they'd like. And even with all the farm and God King, the moment they slipped up, RNG had the heroes to bounce back in there. So SAG, They have to be careful about giving leads like that away. And RNG, if they can keep that kind of playstyle up, looks like they do have it in them to shake up SAG.
We'll find out what happens. It's going to go to game number 3. It is MLP Dota and johnxfire, and we'll see you back in 5 to 10 minutes for that third game of this best of 3 series.